got a lot of daring, awesome campaigns on here. Pretty much all of these are by people that we know. Smokes the Fox is here. That's a nice Mike Barron campaign. Mike Barron wrote this. Chrome-Dog, happy to see that here.
Well, hello everyone. This is Justin K. Sweet, aka Agent Zero, coming in with another live stream video, as it were, trying to capitalize on a little bit of time before the rest of the evening's festivities commences with all the other live streams that you may be previewing and perusing here on the interwebs. I am your humble host, as I said, Justin K. Sweet. And I wanted to kind of show off some things. So without further ado, I figure we'll go ahead and just get the campaign out of the way. I've actually decided to make a few changes today on the Fund My Comic campaign. Let's see if we can't check this out first. So the one thing you'll notice is right here, whenever you go to look for Chrome-Dog, you're going to see that this image has changed. I highly recommend folks out there that you change your images, especially when you actually make changes to your campaign to kind of grab people's attention, because they may or may not, when they look for it, it's like, ooh, something's changed. And it certainly, and maybe even rotate images. By rotate, I mean to change them out from time to time to keep them fresh, innovative, new, that kind of thing. So I decided to change up this image right here, and as we click on it, we come in, and I also decided to change the banner here to kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. I haven't changed the trailer yet. I'm actually, honestly, I'm waiting for more of my colored pages to be done. I plan on doing a completely new trailer, which will be very interesting because I just ended my subscription to Adobe Suite. So we'll see what other budget conscious options are available out there to those of us that are looking to do it. But as you can see right here at the beginning of the campaign, we are sitting at 108 backers, which, by the way, I just had a backer overnight. So shout out to you mystery backer, you. And so that brings our total up to $4,300.13. Once we get to $5,000, I do plan on unlocking this wonderful sticker, which now I get to scroll all the way down and kind of let a little bit of the cat out of the bag, so to speak. But yeah, I do, once we get to $5,000, I do plan to unlock the Wally the Wolf sticker. That unlocking will also, employ another artist, an artist that we have yet to really see much from in this scene. So I look forward to doing that. But in the meantime, I'm going to kind of practice with the Wally the Wolf character myself. But anyway, so coming down here, so I changed the artwork. You'll notice originally I had the covers, and then what I've decided to do is just kind of come in and just show off some of the wonderful pieces that Luke has completed in the latter part of the book. So right here we have, of course, this image doesn't do it much justice, but right here we have, this is a 2-page splash. The reason there's so much space here is because there's going to be quite a bit of dialogue between a couple of characters. So so yeah, so we've got that going on. It is currently in black and white, but that's only because our colorist Patrick Gamma hasn't gotten to these pages just yet. He's still working out some other ones, so we're chugging along. But I decided, hey, I'm going to throw some more art on this campaign to kind of bring it up to speed and make folks see exactly where we're at and what we're doing. I lament the fact that that the campaign stagnated, but I really have no one to blame but myself. So so here we go. So yeah, so we've got Chrome-Dog and some action scenes, action poses, not just poses, but he's moving. There's lots of movement here. I really like this part where he's kind of tumbling through and reaching around the panel. I love when we get to do that in comic books. And then as we end here on this last panel, Luke added a nice touch of the rain as it starts to come down. So, we see it's cloudy and everything, and then all of a sudden, boom, the rain comes in, and then the rain's nonstop from here on out the rest of the book. Then we've got some other shots here, some other panels, that good Chrome-Dog action happening. So yeah, and then then we move on to the actual covers. So we've got Luke Stone's cover A, and we got Aaron Lepresti's cover B. Again, I can't stress this enough. This particular cover is only going to be available on this campaign, with few exceptions in person. So essentially, I'm going to send this off to print, and I'm going to print a set amount, and once those are gone, they're gone. They will not be reprinted. So if you for some reason cannot catch this on the campaign, you'll have to catch me in person, because otherwise they'll be gone. And I do plan on, once I actually have comics in hand, I do plan on hitting kind of hitting the road, seeing, who I can, kind of snuggle up to in the comic booths, and, try to pimp my wares, so to speak. That's the thing about it, is it's really hard to get myself out there when I don't have anything in hand. I'm a very tactile person. I want to, I want to be able to hold a comic in my hand, and and I don't like the way crowdfunding feels in that it's like, oh yeah, I have pictures on a website you can go look at, but I don't have anything physically, to kind of show you what we're doing. So so yeah, I look forward to actually having issues in my hand to share. So yeah, as I've added to the campaign, I've decided, since I added that other art, I decided, you know what, people can download the PDF ashcan just by clicking these links at the top and the bottom of the this wonderful art showcase here. So I might as well just remove some of those pages, and just to kind of, I selected some pages that I feel, kind of give you just a gist of kind of sort of what's going on, and then boom, we're out. So it's not, it's no longer the full 10 pages. Because I think a lot of people, those that have, who have a desire to want to read it, you can click the PDF ashcan download links. There's one here in yellow, and then one above that's in purple. So yeah, check it out. These are directly from that, and this is the actual lettering. This is Eric Weathers' letters on here. So man, I'm getting really excited for all of this to finally come out. I am anticipating hopefully by mid-December being completely done with fulfillment. That's assuming everything goes off without a hitch from here on out. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, this whole cross-platform stretch goals is kind of funny. I mean, my early backers were on Indiegogo, so I have to acknowledge them. And of course, I mean, that's why we're at where we are with the $4,313. As it says right here, $3,801 were raised over on the pink site. by 88 backers. So, I mean, kudos to everybody who's believed in this project enough to, not only back me over there, but to kind of follow me over here. And I do my best to try to keep updates up, going on both campaigns, even though the campaign on the pink side is actually closed. But, and then, I've left all this pretty much the same. But the key factor is that, I am Arrow. I'm with Arrow Comics. This isn't me just out here, flapping, doing my own thing. Like we're a team. We back each other's books. We back each other as far as creatives. In a certain level of solidarity that you're not really going to find out there in this space. So hopefully, we can expand and become something greater than what's going on out there in the industry. But I guess before I continue, I might as well just pop on over here and check out the comments, see what you guys are saying. Duck Bacon says, "Hail, Agent Zero." Well, hail, Duck Bacon. And I know I've kind of gave you an initial hearty hail. I thought I was on Ethan's channel for a second. Nice. Okay. Hey, I mean, if it works, it works. I kind of let's just say that I got some of that what do you call it, liquid courage, some hydration lubrication, as it were. I didn't have too stressful of a day at work, but a lot of times on Mondays I come in and I'm just so beaten down. But today, I feel upbeat. I mean, what's not to be excited about? I mean, look at this fantastic art that I have on this campaign. Daredevil vibes, yeah, for real. And let me just say, woke breaker, that's what I've been trying to do here. Is I've been it's been killing me not to show off who Chrome-Dog is in his superhero ness, right? He's more than just a guy who stands around handing out plushies at a daggum amusement park. Okay. Like that's just his day job. This is a chance for him to actually move about the city, jump from rooftop to rooftop, leaping, almost like the original Superman in a way. While Chrome-Dog can't fly, he can certainly leap long distances, but he's also, keep in mind, he's also trying to get a bearing of, how this body works, how this, I don't want to say suit because it's not, but because his consciousness has been downloaded into this body. So he's really he's still testing it out. He's only been awake for about 6 months here in the story, and he's having to kind of contend with Sally in his head all the time. So we finally get a chance to show off what he's about and how he moves around the city. Because frankly, waiting in traffic is just not going to cut it when he's got a job to do. But as fate would have it, he's supposed to be going to work, but he's going to shirk those responsibilities. Feeling this pull of of actually of being a hero, because he discovers something and he's on his way there to to do something greater than just earn a paycheck in this moment. So I'm sure there will be lots of drama to come in the coming issues regarding that. But in the meantime, so I guess we can keep going. The woke breaker says, "Hail chat, hail the woke breaker. Hey Doug, Eric's a beast." Yeah, Eric. Yeah, Eric Weathers. He's fantastic. He's certainly one of my inspirations, and I aspire. He's one of my aspirations too. Like I want to be. I would like to get into lettering at some point. Right now, I'm working on my art. As some of you may know, I've decided that coffee mug that I did, I'm going to go back and revisit that one. But in the meantime, something I didn't show you, and maybe I'll show you here in a few. I don't think I showed the subsequent lessons that I had, which feature perspective. I kind of wanted to do those on my own, just to try to, so I can concentrate a little better. And I think I'm getting it, and I think I understand why Mark Burnett is putting out the course just like this. So it's a way to kind of visualize it. But anyway, enough about that. Let's check out the campaign just real quick. Let's look at the rewards. Of course, you've got your $5 work from home digital, and also, this is going to be the close to the final price for the initial print run for Chrome-Dog. It's going to be $4.99, and so that's the thing that kind of separates what we're doing at Arrow from some of these other campaigns. A lot of these other indie comics campaigns, they keep the price points pretty high. Of course, they deliver a larger book, so to maximize the value there. But for here on the campaign, we're looking at $15, because most of that is going to go towards the production of the book, and all of those costs associated with that. So everyone who backs me here, you're investing in the production of the book, and so I'm exceedingly grateful for that. So yeah, $15. You can choose one or the other covers here. On this next tier, you can choose both. You actually get them both in the same reward. The next one below is going to be the Arrow Bundle number 2. This one's up top, I guess. The way Fund My Comic works is the higher the tier, it sorts them by price. So the cheaper the tier, that's how it sorts it. For now, I'm not sure if that'll ever change, but it works. So this is the Arrow Comics Bundle number 2. It's got 6 comics, including Chrome-Dog, as well as the upcoming Fool, and Soltac number 1 with the hybrids. Was that hybrids number 2, HeroBot Zero number 2, and then in the Revolt number 2, which is that's a anthology book that Arrow puts out. So you're looking at $40 for 6 comic books, plus you get the because Chrome-Dog is associated with this, you get the stretch goals, which, by the way, let me just show you real quick. I got the trading cards in. Let me quit sharing that just so I can show these off. So I finally got the metal trading cards back. Now these are only going to go to the first 50 physical backers, and I finally got these back, and they got them right. So I don't know if you guys remember, but before I had to flip on this edge for you to see, but as you can see, it's backwards. So it's supposed to flip like this, because that's how landscape trading cards are supposed to be oriented. So I'm exceptionally pleased how these turned out. Very proud to have this in my hands right now. This is amazing. Between Aaron Lopresti's art and my graphic arts skills, I guess. It is my skills. It's kind of that's how I contributed to this. I like that's what I like to do, is the graphic arts. So I blame that on my mother. She was a graphic artist, so, and a printer when I was a kid. So yeah, that's 50 lucky backers are going to be getting those. I don't really, but yeah, I wanted to just kind of touch base real quick on the campaign today. Before we actually get into the meat of the program, which it is Punisher Day, yay! Punisher is definitely someone who's near and dear to my heart. I went to look. I actually had to look through my comics to find this. I don't want to say it's tattered, but it certainly is. It's got some creases or whatnot. Yes, this is a reprint. It's not, not for sale. Lionsgate Films version, right? This was, I went to see The Punisher back in 2004 on opening weekend. I want to say it was opening night. I went to go see that. Of course, we got Thomas Jane movie poster here on the back, and this one looks like it's just a photograph, so that's cool. I actually had that shirt for the longest time. I have a version of it now, but I had the original way back when. Here he is. Tim Bradstreet kind of did a. This is Tim Bradstreet himself. He does a very realistic photorealistic rendering. If you're familiar with his art, and of course, we're going to see a lot more in this book that he does. And yeah, so it's kind of, I don't want to say eerie, but it's odd to have a juxtaposition of like modern stuff versus the original story. And plus, this is not newsprint, so it's not. It just doesn't have the same. It doesn't have the same feel, which it is what it is. I'm not even sure if these colors are right as to how they originally were, but then again, I wasn't around back in the 70s, and I certainly don't own this comic in the real version or the non-reprinted version. His hair kills me. The way Jerry Conway originally envisioned him, I guess. I mean, it says Jerry Conway scripter. I tell you what, man. Like, how does that even work? Scripter. It's almost he's credited with creating the Punisher, but I guess I need to look up, maybe Ross Andrew and Jerry kind of work together to make it happen. I don't know, but I don't like that word scripter because it makes you want, like, and I know they're probably employing the Marvel method, so they're like, oh yeah, we're going to make all these different things, and then it's up to Jerry Conway to create the dialogue and everything of what actually happens in the story, because I know that's part of the technique. So here's another movie poster. I think it's hilarious. They handed these out when I went to I went to a Regal theater to see the Punisher, and I got my ticket and they handed me a comic book. They did the same for X-Men when it came out. I got a comic book and a trading card. And they advertise for the movie that I'm about to see. Like, I don't understand. It's every ad space in here is either that or look at this face. Look at that. That's I don't quite understand that either. He's like, yes, I'm the Joker. I don't know. Peter Parker, gotta love him. Yeah, here we go. Tim Bradstreet. This is if I was up to my my Punisher lore and understanding, this, I want to say, and we'll get into this, maybe I can I have it within reach, but we can look at the actually, now that I'm talking about it, let's see here. I do have the Garth Ennis run, right? Of course, that's this particular, I mean, hey, it's the Punisher. Today's Punisher Day, which, by the way, I guess let me explain that for just a second. Today, 50 years ago, was the day, this date in history 50 years ago was when this original copy of this book hit the newsstands. They were, and from what I understand, and we'll kind of get into it in a little bit, they tried to, maybe say that something's going to come out at a certain time when, this says February, but they wound up releasing it a whole a few months earlier, right? Because here we are in October, February. I mean, that's my mathing right now. What's that, like 4 months? So they were ahead of the curve, ahead of the curve on that. Let me see. I don't know how many covers we got in here, but yeah. So like that's Tim Bradstreet. I know I'm skipping around, but there we go. See, that's another Bradstreet. That's the other thing. This blue, that okay. I was inspired Here's a little backstory for the closer. This shirt does not look black, even though like maybe he's rendering it in a way to be black, but it comes across as blue to me, right? I mean, we look here, it's blue with the black. I mean, it's blue, and so that's kind of one. Blue is my favorite color, but two, as an homage to this design specifically that Tim Bradstreet does. That's why I made the closer's shirt blue with his skull that's on his shirt. I mean, that's like it's completely meta, right? Like I own it. I own that I made it. That's me as being the creator gets dealer's choice when it comes to that. But as far as in story, it has a reason for being blue. But yeah. Um, so I'm thinking because this is 2004. Yeah, see, all these are going to be probably have that same skull on them. So I'm thinking what we're seeing here with Bradstreet is what he did. Yeah, okay, is what he did with the starting with issue number 11, because this was a reboot of the Punisher. So they started back at 1, and then went through 12. See, collecting Punisher in 2001 through 12. And so this was, here it is in 2004, but this was probably 13, if I had to guess. I'm trying to remember because I collected all those at the time. Of course, I went in a purge. This one here looks more like a photo. I don't think it doesn't look like Bradstreet put any of his art over that. Though this is not line work, so yeah, I think it's just a doctored photo. I don't really want to get into the story, mainly because this was just it's pretty campy. Not gonna lie. Yeah, Dracula hair, exactly. It's almost like the Joker in a way from Batman, but except with it, laid down. Yeah, Dracula hair for real. And here they didn't get the color. The colorist they rushed it because he's supposed to have white gloves, white boots. They just pushed right through it. He's wearing blue. He's like Batman without the cape. It's hilarious. That wasn't fair, but hey, it is what it is. Hey, at least they colored Spider-Man correctly. So I guess green weapons. Yes, green weapon approved. It's Norman Osborn. You can always tell when it's either Norman or Harry because of the hair. They have that wave, I love it. And this is the guy. His name is the Jackal. He's a wiry one. Yeah, I might read this soon. I'm just and I'll tell you why I'm not currently reading it. Here's a cool John Travolta, aka Howard Saint. I really like. Okay, I want to gush on this because today is Punisher Day. Why not? Right? I love this movie. Like this movie is the quintessential. Like this is the quintessential Punisher movie, and I don't care who you are. It's better than the TV show. It's better than Punisher Warzone. And it's. I mean, it encapsulates every. And of course, it doesn't help that I'm a massive Jonathan Hensley fan. I really loved his other movies like Die Hard with a Vengeance. If you like Die Hard with a Vengeance, it's because it was directed by Jonathan Hensley. I love the fact that he used so much practical effects in this movie. There was, there were car stunts and things like that at the time weren't really being utilized much by Hollywood. So, but yeah, it was great. I really love that movie. Like a lot. Could it have been better? Sure, but at the same time, I mean, you do what you got to do, right? According to Thomas Jane, the reason it was filmed, the story took place in Tampa was because John Travolta didn't want to move, or didn't want to leave Florida, so they moved the movie to him. Whether or not that's true, I don't think that's true. I think they just didn't have the budget, and so Tampa wound up being the cheapest place to film it. So they decided, hey, we're going to change the story. That's my 2 cents. Whether I'm right or wrong, I don't know. But this book right here, boom. I just got this the other day. Had no idea that today was going to be Punisher Day. So super awesome. Let's see here real quick. Actually, we actually own the same Garth Ennis issue. Yeah, I mean, so I collected all these, and I was collecting them, month by month at the comic shop. I didn't, and then eventually I did buy the hardback version of this, which also had Punisher Kills the Marvel Universe in it, as well as this weird dental story. It was kind of strange, but yeah, and I wound up selling that because it went with the Purge before I came back to comic books. So yeah, I picked this one up super cheap on eBay. But this one right here, it's volume 2. So this starts the Mike Baron stuff. Now, granted, Mike Baron did write some Punisher stories before this, but this is the actual like the Punisher run. Once they got out of the whole miniseries game, they actually decided, hey, we're going to give him his own title. This is what starts that. I decided to start with this rather than going back to volume 1. I may eventually go back to volume 1. It's the hokiness. I mean, plus I've already got the classic Punisher trade paper, or not trade paperback. It's more like a graphic novel version, but it's enough. It's enough of the Jerry Conway stuff, and it has a cool little Mike Baron story in there, among others. But this is amazing. Like, and this is the style that I want to tell the closer stories in. I mean, and I love these essential books. I really do, because we get to see the original raw inks and pencils just in the book the way it's supposed to be, with just the story. And it's the value of this to me. Like, there's so much more value to this. I don't know what it is. I guess I now appreciate black and white art more than I ever did before. I've seen too many books that get ruined because the colorists take certain liberties, and it takes away from the book, and it takes away from the story, in my opinion. But yeah, here, I wanted to show you this. So this one here, right? So here we are, 1st of July, supposedly, allegedly, but it doesn't actually release the 1st of July. I think it was much earlier, potentially. I'm trying to remember. So that one says July. They were all over the place with these. Let me see. Here we go. Look at this. So here at the end says issue number 2 on sale by May 19th, right? So here we are. It says July 1st right here on the cover. This is still the same issue, mind you, right? By May 19th. So their deadlines were that, I guess they were being super generous with them, because here we are. It says 2nd August, right? And then when we get to the end of this story, and I know I'm bouncing around a little bit, but hopefully you guys are along for it. Y'all will bear with your humble narrator. Here we go. Okay, here we go. There we go. So right here, next issue on. Okay, you may not be able to read this. Well, I know you don't, or I know you can't if I've got that in the way. I was kind of bummed how fast I got rid of the car. Yeah, and I know. It felt like they cut some stuff out of the movie. To be honest, I've got all that in this run as well. Currently, I'm searching for Protasio's of the regular series. Yeah, he's going to show up in here too. Will's Protasio, which so. I haven't even gotten to that art, but yeah, no, like I saw some rendering the other day when you brought up Will's Protasio. I found an artist who I think speaks to that that type of thing, plus this Klaus Janson, like this just, man, like let's dive into this for real quick. Right here. Next issue on sale by June 30th, right? And again, the beginning of it says like August 2nd. So anyway, but I want to move to okay. I have to say this. This says October. It says issue number 3, but October, right? Well, what's funny about this is my birthday is October 3rd. So this is like I don't know, like that speaks to me for obvious reasons. Jansen 87. Oops. Let me get rid of that. That way you can see it. There we go. So right here it says Jansen 87. That's just so cool. But yeah, Klaus Janson, oh my gosh. Like the way the storytelling in here is just amazing to me. Between him in the panels, and of course I'm imagining their process where he's doing the panels and then Mike Baron's coming in with the script. The subtlety, the things that are being said, shots like this, and then the action. I mean, like once it kicks in, once the action kicks in, it's like boom, boom, boom. And it doesn't turn you loose until it's over. It's just balls to the wall action, man. Like it's so fun. And right here, I thought was kind of cool. He says, tonight I talked to Wilfred, but first I have to change for the party. They'll expect me to pack, and I don't want to disappoint them. They won't expect a diamond-tipped manicure. And then he scratches. He like demonstrates by scratching on a mirror here, and he says, "Cute." And then then continues on, and then of course once Mike and Klaus like embed this into our brain, right? We're waiting for it, okay? And it reminds me of how theater, there's a rule in stage acting that you never reveal a gun or a knife without using it, right? So it's like as soon as there's a gun revealed, that gun is going to go off at some point of the action of the play. Like whatever is going to happen, that gun is going to go off at some point. And so there's and it feels like Baron and Klaus, I mean I have to use them both because I mean the way they're, Klaus laid down these the images here, and Baron put the words on it. And I'm not sure how loose the script was initially, but the fact that they plant this in our brain and we're just waiting, right? We're waiting and we're waiting just to see when he's going to use those the diamond tipped manicure, which kind of I don't know, it's kind of funny to think of Frank Castle as having nail polish on his fingers, just so he can have a weapon at hand when the time comes that he would need it. Like how James Bond, or I mean almost Catwoman too. It's kind of like it kind of does both. So yeah, so we're expecting it this whole time, and then there's like a torture scene, at least a little bit of one. And and that's another thing. While I'm studying this stuff, right? This comic, while I wouldn't necessarily say this is for all ages, so like a 6-year-old wouldn't quite get it, but I mean, let's say you're 10 or 11, it's still, I think, it's very approachable, very readable. Yes, they're using weapons, but a lot, like most of the actual violence is off panel in this stuff. Right here, he's like, "Gack," and he's like, "Crunch." So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty darn violent. And then, of course, he zaps him and whatever. Right, yeah. So right here, he uses his nails to cut himself apart, but he uses them again. I'm trying to remember what he does. He uses those nails one more time here in a sec. Dang, I forget. Oh yeah, okay. Where's it at? Where's it at? Got him. I got him. Yeah. Trying to remember. He did something. I thought he did something else, but maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe that was it. But yeah, the and this Carl Potts, like we're talking like this is the dream team for. And I like how it says James Shooter. That's so cool because everywhere else in the X-Men comics I always say Jim, Jim Shooter, but here it's all James. Everyone has this proper name. It's almost like we should see Francis Castiglione instead of Frank Castle to make it proper. I didn't understand Jansen when I was younger, but after a while I warmed up to his style in Dark Knight Returns. Um, oh, wait. When Jansen inked Lee, it was freaking masterpieces. Yeah, okay. So did he ink Frank Miller in Dark Knight Returns? Because I know Frank Miller, like that's his book. But yeah, and I also I have to say, like, I appreciate the looseness of the pencils here, or the inking, or like the looseness of the line work, we'll say, because I don't have these comics to compare the original to know exactly what iteration we have here. I mean, it looks like ink. Yeah. Yeah, like bam, and that's it, like but like, brap. The sound effects, you don't have to get too crazy with them, it's just like there's so many times where it's like blam blam, and that's enough. That's all you need. You don't have to get too nuts with them, not too imaginative. Now I will have to say, in my own opinion, I think when someone uses a word like crumble for, for say a wall crumbling down, I think that's kind of cringe because that's not, while it's onomatopoeia in a way, it's not really a sound effect that you should have in a comic book. But this saying zoom. I mean, I don't know. Zoom. Yeah, maybe. Okay. Shink. It's almost like schnick, like Wolverine. Blam! 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 Anyway, sorry if that's too loud. Foosh. Yeah, and that's. I think for me the real challenge is trying to write my own stories without getting too, like, I want to be able to tell the story, get in the action, and and get out, but and not linger too long in the slow bit. So I'm really trying to pay close attention to how, the timing of all this. And what's funny is a lot of these other creators are probably thinking, why study? Why are you studying so hard? Just do the thing. And it's like, well, okay, that's all well and good, but I know what I like, and I know what I would want to read, and I know what prevents me from reading books. And um, one of the things that I've always loved about these older Marvel books is that this right here is the most verbose thing that you're going to find, and then beyond that, it's just a little bit chip, 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 chip here and there, like that. It just moves, boom, 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 ta, 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 ka, 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 and it propels the story forward in a way that I never really got that kind of satisfaction from a DC comic book. I'll be honest. I'm not harshing on DC. I'm just going to be honest. Some of those books were readers, um, and way more reading than acting. So, but yeah. Um, I think as long as it's fluid, right? As long as we can just keep the story moving, you can be somewhat verbose. I mean, we got some decent dialogue going on here, but as you read, it doesn't you don't feel like you're bogged down reading it. So, you know, um, And to be quite fair, this is not a lot of words. Now, if this thing took up like half the page, half his face, that'd be a problem. Which, you know, and I'm noticing a lot of that happening these days in some of these independent comics. I'm not going to directly call anyone out for that because, I mean, who am I? But like this one here, like it was expected to be, you know, to have to fit. So that's why not much going on there. Because, I mean, you know, when you've got all these words here, but the sparsity of the art, you know, you don't have to get too detailed on panels. You just keep it moving, you know, just keep it moving, just keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Deadlines, 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 keep it moving. Man, that is so cool. I like that this his sternum kind of makes a nose for the skull, because if you've noticed this entire time, there's not been a nose actually drawn by Klaus, uh, by choice, I guess. Where's it at? Well, I mean, we can barely see it on that one. I mean, like, yeah, see, there's no nose. But anyway, yeah, see, no nose there. I always thought these were what are those supposed to be? Like shotgun shells? Like what's 50 cal shells that, like, I don't know. Just looks badass. So we'll just rock with it. Maybe they're sticks of dynamite? No, probably not. That would be very that wouldn't be very safe. Run up on something and get some good friction. We also get to, you know, we actually get to see Microchip and stuff, and here's Microchip's son, which I thought was kind of fun. I haven't gotten through this portion of the book yet, but yeah, like this. Wow, like this has definitely hit me in the Frank Castle feels, so to speak. I like a good paka 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 paka. Yeah, really. Oh yeah, this was some of the stuff that he does in here. It's very MacGyver-ish, and I love it. I love him for it too. I like that whole MacGyver thing. I got a character who does some MacGyvering in Chrome-Dog, so I'm definitely here for it. Yes, Jansen had phenomenal movement. Yes, and that's I'm with it. Like that, I mean, I'm here. I'm definitely here for that. That's, you know, as my motto for Agent Zero Studios is Agent Action always. That's that's why I try to keep the slow parts to a relative minimum in Chrome-Dog, and I'm probably going to catch some flack for it, but at the same time, I mean, I hope not, because you know, it's some here and there. I mean, you gotta, the story has to be propelled forward too. It's not, can't always be action. There has to be some form of setup of something at some point, right? Let's see. Let me show. Okay, hold on. No, wait a minute. That can't be right, unless it is. Okay, so this says issue number 12. So maybe we can do a direct comparison. For some reason, yeah, because see, I got issue number 21. So that's after what's collected in there. So yeah, I guess we'll do a little deep dive on 12. But before we do that, I'm going to do a little bit of an interlude and kind of show off a little bit of my artwork. Looks like I got about 11 minutes to go, so here we go. Yeah, here's some of my logo work I was trying to work out. The closers skull, and none of those quite capture what he needs to do. I think I've shown her before, a little bit of a study. This was, yeah, it's trash. Moving. Okay, here we go. So yeah, I'm going to redraw this off stream so I can concentrate. And then here we go. So yeah, so this was my first attempt at doing some perspective. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. I'm going to start over. And so this was my second attempt, and I think I nailed it. And I didn't even know what I was doing. Like I started drawing lines, and then as I was drawing boxes, I'm like, wait a minute, I need to shift this over to make it work, make it actually look good, look like it's, you know, there. So you know, this is really helping me develop my eye for the horizon and like where things should be oriented. So very helpful. And then there's another thing where not only was I supposed to draw the box in perspective, but I'm also supposed to cut it in half. I think he he actually designed this one to be cut in half this way, but I did it the other way. So I wound up just cutting it in fourths. It is what it is. And then that was 21. Oh, and then there's 22. I want to do, I'm probably going to do this one over and change it. I want to make this one a little different than the way he assigned it. I think I want to do a little more with it, but yeah, you know, kind of supposed to do like cutaways and things like that. It turned out all right, but I think I could do better just on my own. So yeah, go a little slower than I should be. I haven't really been doing it daily like I should be, but you know, it is what it is. It is how it is. Them's be the beats. Which, by the way, since we're in our little intermission here, this is Joe Catapano. This is I think his pencils for his entry to the Lucent art contest, and he sent me the original art for this one. And so I guess he's inking it and going to color it and everything for the contest. And then if you don't know it already, he's got a comic book called Star Circuit. Issue number 2 is currently in sign-up phase, I think. I don't think it's launched yet, but you can always look him up. What is it? Something Vera Comics. Hold on, I'll tell you in a minute. This is a postcard. Very cool. Star Circuit, starcircuit.com. Yeah, here we go. Here's a, if you want to, if you can, take your little cellular device and grab that lovely QR code and check it out. And he wrote a little note here. Justin, thanks for watching, Joe. Yeah, I want it in chat. It's first piece of original art I've ever I own, actually, like, other than stuff that I'm drawing, which is, I mean, I don't really consider that original art just yet. I mean, of course it's original, but it's not, you know, it's not great. But yeah. Let's see. You say beautiful. Yeah, totally. All right, here we go. While we're in the intermission mode for a second, I just wanted to show this off. So at my we have a place here nearby who they're a bit of a hobby shop. They're more geared toward like sports cards and video games and stuff than comic books. But the guy had a stack of these at the register for like I think he was selling for $5 a piece, and I bought a bunch of Punisher comics from him, and so he's like, oh, you can have one of them, which is kind of funny because I get it home and I realize it's like torn right here. But I remember Aaron Lopresti was talking about this book on Graybeards, I think one time. I believe it was Graybeards. And he was, and so we got Tom DeFalco, editor-in-chief. So this is copyright 1993. I guess this was reprinted in 96. So yeah, this is all about the safety, the safety hazard of vapors coming from a gas can. And so it's a public service announcement type comic book. So still fun. Still kind of fun to see Daredevil running around. And there's this villain. Her name's was it Vapora or Vapora. So this kid likes to play with fire. Was trying to teach kids fire safety and all that. And some courtroom stuff. Too much smiling going on in that courtroom, if I'm honest. But yeah, National Saved Kids Campaign, 1996. It's kind of funny that this was produced in 96. When in 96, well, that's weird. This says, okay, so 1994. Yeah, totally reprinted. Yeah, because by the time we get to 96, like the covers don't look like this anymore. They had already radically changed the way in which they formatted it was not as cool as it once was, in my opinion. The late 90s, I'm telling you, Image did a lot of I don't know what it and that's not a slight against Image at all. It's just Marvel. They were really grasping at straws by the end of the 90s for sure. They didn't know what to do on anything. All right, so I haven't even made it to this story yet in my reading, but we're gonna trudge forward. I'll keep my place with my handy little Chrome-Dog bookmark, as I've shown before. This is actually one of the stretch goals that was unlocked. So all physical backers will receive a metal bookmark, double-sided, with your ability to personalize your own bookmark if you like. I used a grease pencil, but you can just as easily use a Sharpie or a black Sharpie or a silver Sharpie or, ooh, I like it. Ninja Turtles. Ultra Games. Yep. It's one of those cases where the art was better than the actual, the art looked cooler than the game did. Okay, so who is this? Castle Technique. Okay, so we got Mike Barron. Whilce Portacio. Scott Williams on ink, so Whilce Portacio on pencils. Okay, so now we can do a direct comparison between this and Evolutionary Jihad. Okay. Oh yeah, I've got, okay, that's another one that we can compare because of course today I think we're running out of time because I think pre-King Awesome is about to start. That's Matt Barr's joint before the Comicsgate Kings. All right, let's see here. Okay, issue 9. Okay, wait a minute. Come on. What are you doing? Okay, well, maybe I'm not far enough. Okay, 10. Here we go. Oh, no. Okay, I'm guessing the annual. Okay, so we actually... Oh, Marvel, you crazy crackers. So what they did was they were like, hey, read the Punisher number 10, and then to read the stunning conclusion, check out Daredevil 257. All right. Blah blah blah. Okay, all right. So the annual, and then we get back. Come on. Where are you at? Okay, this is cool. All right. It's 11. We're almost there. Almost there. Was this Whilce too? Yes. Whilce Portacio on letters. I wish I had that issue. Chances are I can get it. Because that same comment, here we go. All right. Let's compare. Compare and contrast. Okay. So it looks like it's the same, just no color. So that's okay. So yeah. Now that's interesting. So this is an interesting exercise because it starts here, right? if you're going to have a page turn, it's going to be here, and so it's going to throw everything off in that regard. For those of you paying attention to page turns, as you should. Page turns are important. Anyone tells you they're not, they're lying to you. Here we go. Okay. Man, that's here. There we go. Let's do this. That way we can just do a direct comparison like that, one to the other. So panel to panel. Yeah, see, like for me, I don't need color, you know? Yeah, otherwise everything's identical. That's cool. It's pretty cool that they have the original pre-color inks that they can just reprint these clever little tomes. But yeah, I mean that's good enough for me. I don't need all that color. Who needs no stinking color? We don't need no stinking color. I do like the smell of newsprint though. I do. That old newsprint. That's old newsprint versus new newsprint. Newer. But anyway. I heard the working issue title was I was a gas huffing survivor. Nice. That's an awesome collection. Where'd you get it? The Amazon, man. Yeah, just if you're talking about essential, you go on Amazon. This particular bookseller, they had the volume 2, which is starts with this Punisher run and goes on. Volume 1 has it looks like it collects all the Conway stuff, probably some of the early Baron stuff. And I'm sure there's like more volumes, but yeah, always look for the Marvel Essential, because you're going to get a thick black and white, pretty much story and inks only version of any of runs of comics. And I mean, as far as I know, they've done that for every, like they do that for most. I don't want to say every, but like most of the definitely the Bronze Age stuff, probably Silver Age stuff. Of course, I think once you get to Silver and Golden Age, you're going to be looking for. Of course, I don't. Does Marvel even have Golden Age? Silver Age comics, you're looking at Masterworks, I think, and those are going to typically be color. If you want color collected volumes, those come in the Epic collections. That's another way to collect them. They're thick too, but they're on better quality paper and they're full color and all that. It's, to me, just give me this, because this is it's less expensive. You get more story, and you can actually drill down and see the actual art, without all the color and without all the fluff, right? And so yeah, definitely. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. They're duck, but yeah, there's that. As far as the collection of these comics, I just get them at the comic shop as I can. And I'm the worst too. I need to make a list of the things that I need, almost like a checklist, so that I can never buy the same comic twice. Because it's weird. I have a really good memory, except when it comes to comic book numbers. Because I may have seen it before, but I don't know if I own it. And I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's the daggum truth. Man. Okay, so yeah, I would be remiss if I didn't. So I do have that one, which that one's actually pretty good. And then I also, I've got Punisher War Journal number 4, which that begins my War Journal stuff. I got 4 or 5, blah, blah, blah. So, Jim Lee, all that stuff. I do plan on collecting those again. I did have quite a collection before the Purge, but I netted this one, Punisher Warzone, number 1. I love this one just for this one thing. And I really, man, if I tell you what, if you guys out there can allow me to bring the closer to life, I would love to homage this cover. I would love to do a cutout embossing, like the whole thing would be just absolutely amazing. The only thing is, what I plan to do with the closer is keep it black and white. Yeah, I think in my own personal preference, I think all the comics that I want to produce, I want them to be black and white, except for Chrome-Dog, and I've not made that a secret. So that's definitely my goal. Who is this? Let's see. Where are we at? Like, come on, give us a byline. Tell us who this is. Oh, here we go. Hey, Chuck Dixon on the okay, John Romita. That's why he looked familiar. Klaus Janson on inks. Cool. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. I should have known that lip. I don't know what it is about John Romita Jr., but that lip. There's a lip that he does, and I'm just, man, I'm bouncing all over the place, ain't I? I want to show off this one last thing if I can find the stupid thing. Here it is, because it's Punisher Day. Boom, Hearts of Darkness, baby. Heck yeah. Warzone was so good. I love how the movie took the popsicle scene directly out of the book. And that's really, wow. I didn't know that, but I should have, right? But yeah, I love that part of that movie. Punisher acting like he's torturing somebody, but he's really not. Spoiler alert to those of you out there who haven't seen The Punisher, the movie with Thomas Jane and John Travolta, as well as Rebecca Romaine Stamos. It's even got Mark Colley, who's a somewhat famous country singer from the 90s. He plays a guy named Harry Heck, who gives Punisher a run for his money, at least for a little while, in the movie. And little tidbit. Here's a little dish. I'm gonna dish out a little spill some tea. Kevin Nash comes in and he plays this guy named the Russian, right? Well, in the comic book, in right here, and I'll show you, in the comic book, the Russian never shuts up when he's fighting with Frank. Okay, he never shuts up. He's like, ha, ha. He's doing all the talking. He's like, rah, rah, rah. He's like talking smack, right? Frank's silent this whole time. Well, in the movie, if you watch it, if you watch the movie, like he's just talking smack this whole time. If you watch the movie, Kevin Nash plays the Russian, but he never says a word. He doesn't say one word at all, and that's because Kevin Nash couldn't pull off a Russian accent at the time, and so. To those of you who are John Wick fans, if you've seen the first John Wick movie, you may recall there was a certain large Russian man with blonde hair that was standing outside the club that John Wick goes into, and he speaks with a Russian accent. And guess what? That is Kevin Nash. And so by then, I guess he nailed it. And so that's kind of a fun little anecdote to those of us who care about such things. And to those of you who don't know who Kevin Nash is, he was a wrestler for the WCW, and I think he came over to WWF before it became WWE. I don't know when he quit wrestling or if he even hasn't. I don't know, but I haven't kept up with Kevin Nash. But I seem to recall he was with the guy who what's his name? I can't believe it's escaping me. Glenn Jacobs. I think which Glenn Jacobs was Kane, who wrestled, was a tag team with the Undertaker. But anyway, the Glenn Jacobs and Kevin Nash, they actually teamed up and they were called the Two Towers or the Twin Towers, something like that for a while. So yeah, that's a thing. There's some more lore for you there. Little more. So here we go. We got some off panel violence. which, I mean, that's another thing I'm wanting to really like reach into. And this hand thing, like this gesture, like, you know, you could tell that it's painful, and she's like, "Ah," and then we see the after effects of it. So like this is somehow okay, right? I was looking for the approved comic, and I guess they don't have it on there by the Comics Authority, because let me say, what year? 91. Yeah, they were still very much under the Comics Authority. So anyway, still, off-panel violence is okay for kids. So yeah, here we go. See the lip? Yeah, like that's. I always when I see that lip, man. Where's it at? Yeah, there we go. got that upper lip. Boom. But you really see it here. Where was it? Yeah, there we go. there's the lip, the little upper lip there, upper lip. I'm not picking on John Romita. I think he's awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, there's the lip with this, and he's got this little mustache. Frankie boy got his little mustache. Oh, here we go. We got Klaus Janson on the inks again. I'll be darned. Look at that. He's showing up everywhere. My phones are ringing. Uh-oh. Well, I'm going to have to cut this short. Until next time, enjoy our wild America.